Prepare yourself, this is probably the most negative and scariest video I will ever make on this channel, because my god, the internet as we know it is probably dying, and it's probably happening very soon. We're gonna talk about the Online Safety Act in the UK, we're gonna talk about the EU plans, the European plans, the USA plans. Trump is gonna be in this video as well, Epstein is gonna be in this video as well, and yes, we're talking more about the Mastercard and Visa censorship bans as well. This video is loaded. I want to have even more in the video, but I was just reading through the document of the European nation, what they are planning to do with their quote-unquote Online Safety Act. And it's actually ridiculous, dystopian, and scary. So without further ado, let's hop over to the browser and actually talk about it, because I don't know what the friggly fruck is happening anymore, and my flabbers are gasted! I'm flabbergasted how this can be real! What the fuck? Okay, so while we're here on this screen, let me just say really quickly how I even came to make this video. I was like, okay, I made the video, the information is out there, surely nothing crazy is gonna happen, right? But then I have learned, and I watched like a video from Penguin Zero Charlie, and read some other things, and saw that besides the freaking Brits, now the European Union, the USA, and Australia are also working on their separate Online Safety Acts, so to call. They're all called a little bit different, but they're all meaning the same thing. And even YouTube, yes, YouTube here, has announced some changes. One, the age of what everybody is calling a child is different. Many of them say under 13, especially the USA. Europe says under 18. And the degrees of what they want to change, what they want to deny, is different. But let me say something. The EU, which we are gonna look at first, has plans to implement something that I think is actually a horrible idea by 2026. Did you know that 2026 is literally in like 6 months? Did you know that something that they are planning is never gonna happen in 6 months? Okay, let's actually talk about it. So the European Commission makes new announcements on the protection of minors under the Digital Safety Act. So first of all, minors are getting protected. That's great every single time, right? Well, that depends on what you want to protect them from and what you think, if it's not gonna be misused or whatever. So I didn't really read this article. I just saw that the guidelines have been posted. Then I opened this official document, which, my god, thankfully only has 65 pages. I've only made it to page 20 before I decided I already saw enough. I need to make this video, because right here, before we talk about anything else, they want to introduce the EU Digital Identity Wallet. And if you ever have thought to yourself that, man, wouldn't it be nice that I, as a hacker, could just get all the information of a singular person from a singular file if I hack that? Have like their birthday, their age, their address, basically everything that makes them a real person? This is your dream. Once implemented, the EU Digital Identity Wallet will provide safe, reliable, and private means of electronic identification for everyone in the Union, aka the European Union. Every member state is required to provide at least one wallet to all its citizens, residents, and businesses, which should allow them to prove who they are and to safely store information, share, and sign important digital documents by the end of 2026. So that is around 18 months from now. All EU digital identity wallets embedded the opportunity to receive a token of age, and member states can implement services to issue such tokens. What is this saying? This is saying that you, as an individual person living in the United European Unions, so Germany and all the other ones, right? You are now, don't only have your identification card that you get, for example, in Germany, in France, in like Spain, whatever, right? You now will have a digital equivalent of such a thing. And it might be similar to, I don't know, a wallet for like cryptocurrency. I have no idea how they actually want to make this thing, right? We don't really have the infrastructure for that. And that thing will store who you are probably what you do, and you will have to apply somewhere to get a token of age, aka provide your age. And then with this EU digital identity wallet, you will go to websites like Reddit, show them your wallet, so Reddit now knows who you are, what you do, how old you are, where you live, all your information. Surely they're not going to do anything silly with that. Or you can go to like Facebook and give Mark Zuckerberg all your data, or to Twitter and give Elon Musk all your data. That's fun, right? And then you are allowed to use these websites. For example, you would be allowed to go to now LGBTQ sites like we've seen before. They are now 18 plus. So you need your token of age. You're talking of age, then you're 18 plus. What the fuck? Okay, so that thing could just be a video on its own, which is why I'm trying to take a lot of time to talk about this. So this whole document at the very beginning, it did say that they are stating as a child anything under 18, which is pretty normal for the EU. So that wasn't a surprise. But you are literally telling me right now, if I'm living in the EU after 2026 is over, basically January 1st, 2027, and I am under 18 years old, basically the internet as it exists now does not exist anymore. Okay, because they have been talking about a few different things, how currently the age is verified for some users, and they have been talking about sometimes you have to show your ID, sometimes the site estimates it, and sometimes you have those buttons on like corn sites that ask you, are you 18 or older? And you just press yes and they accept it, right? And they have been talking about like all of this, right? And they came up with this genius idea of the digital identity wallet, which is like already, I can't. Okay, to facilitate age verification before the identity wallet, so before the end of 2026, the Commission is currently testing an EU age verification solution as a standalone age verification measure that respects the criteria of effectiveness and age assurance solution outlined in section blah blah blah. So they're testing stuff to even implement before that, right? And here is how they want to do it as well. So this all is a clusterfuck. And I don't even know like how this will impact the internet. I can just tell you that the internet as it currently exists cannot continue anymore. What is going to happen if you're like on Google, you're not logged in, Google does not have your EU identity wallet, and you Google something like how a baby's made? Is it not going to show you? What is happening, right? So all of those things are here. And of course, I did read through most of those, like 20 pages. They're talking about a lot of things. Some things that do make sense that maybe children of specific ages should not see. But let me just find that one section I had earlier, because that has big implementations for gaming specifically. They did not talk specifically about gaming, but they were talking about gambling, for example. Was it already this high up? Just give me a second here. We're just scrolling. And when I'm scrolling here, you can think about the last few months now of the normal internet you can use. Oh, where is it? Or was it somewhere else? Was it here? I believe... wait, let me just like actually search for gambling in this thing. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay. So, in section 613137, in the following circumstances, in view of the fact that the protection of minor constitutes an important policy objective in the Union to which regulations blah 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 expresses as a fact blah 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 blah, they want an age verification, right? And now they're talking about products, where certain products or services pose a high risk to minors, and those risks cannot be mitigated by less restrictive measures, considering applicable union and national law, such as the way of the sale of alcohol, tobacco, and nicotine. That makes sense. You should not, I agree, you probably shouldn't be able to order like alcohol online without being the age you can buy alcohol in a grocery store. That would make sense to me. Access to any type of pornographic content. Now this one, at first glance, you could be like, kind of makes sense. I would agree, but then you have to think about two things. Number one, you personally do not define what pornographic content is. The government decides what pornographic content is. And if the government decides that like educational content, like how is baby born, is pornographic content, you cannot access it anymore. If the government decides that any like game, show, or TV show, anime with even like some lewd bits, you know, those animes where a boobie gets flashed or something, or like a panty shot happens, if they decide that that is pornographic content, that is a ban for everybody under 18. Secondly, do let me ask you, when was the first time you watched some porns? I was clearly under 18, right? Like, I'm sorry, right? But let's just talk about the reality of things. People look these things up. People have sex before they are 18. People look at porns before they are 18. It's just a fucking reality, okay? It happens. And yes, there are some people who do get addicted to those things, and I don't want to downplay those things, right? And it can have some negative impacts, but just like flat out saying no porn for anybody under 18 is like asinine, right? And then access to gambling content. And this is very interesting because access to gambling content, you would think, yeah, like I shouldn't be able to go to like a random website and play like poker when I'm under 18. But gambling content nowadays is literally everywhere. You can gamble on Reddit, probably when you do like a giveaway. That's gambling, right? If you go in any game, Genshin Impact, one of the most popular gacha games right now, that's gambling. Literally every single game that is a gacha game has gambling on it. Every game with like random microtransactions in it has gambling. And then question. Is even gambling where you do not use digital real-life money, is that also gambling? Like back in the day, you remember like the first few Pokemon games had like gambling halls where you could like make in-game currency and get like prizes. Is that gambling now? Probably, right? So there would be like no type of gambling like that in the game. So that's already very weird, right? So yes, I agree that people should probably in some ways be protected from like some of all of those, right? But this is insane. Couple this with your identity wallet, it's fucking insane. And you know what's gonna happen? The same thing that is happening in the United Britain shithole nations right now, where people are using VPNs to tell their platforms, oh my god, I'm actually like from Alaska or something, right? I don't need to do this thing. Okay, this is for Europe, and I thought I'd talk about this because sometimes in those videos when I talk like about like America and stuff like that, it might come over as the fact that, oh my god, in Europe it's so nice, but this is like a big thing happening here. So of course links to all those things are gonna be down below again. Now let's hop over to the fucking USA thing. So if you thought to yourself, man, USA already is a shithole, but at least I can access some internet sites. Well, no longer. We have the Kids Online Safety Act, which, by the way, was already in the 117th Congress. So I believe like 4 years ago, but now is there again. And I marked like a little thing here for us. Design feature. The term design feature means any feature or component of a covered platform that will encourage or increase the frequency, time spent, or activity of minors on the covered platform. Design features include forming not limited to, and this document says minors in this case for the USA are 13 and under. Infinite scrolling or autoplay. That means YouTube, for example, or TikTok would not be able to have like autoplay. I'm guessing videos can't repeat themselves. You cannot infinite scroll anymore, right? That happens on Shorts, that happens on TikTok, that happens on Instagram, that happens on Reddit, that literally happens on all the social media platforms. Rewards or incentivized based on the frequency, time spent, or activity on a covered platform. Again, this can be in games as well with like daily quests and stuff like that. Then we have notifications and push alerts. So obviously, literally every single app nowadays has those things. Badges and or visual award symbols based on the frequency. So like having, I'm guessing, like a special picture for Reddit when you log in on the 31st of December to celebrate the New Year's is a no-no. Personalized design features. That's a weird one to me, right? So that means I cannot like choose what color my name is. Would that be something like Discord as well? I cannot choose my profile picture anymore. I cannot choose how I'm called. I cannot choose what color it is. In-game purchases or appearance-altering filters. Now, of course, they're probably talking about things like Instagram filters, right? But you always have to see the bigger picture and always have to a little bit skeptical think about things that can be abused with those things, right? So appearance altering filters. That would mean apps like Face App, for example. That would literally mean like any filter on a camera system. That would mean like in-game purchases is like lots of things as well, all the in-game stuff you can buy. So that's like already insane, right? So then they're talking about microtransactions as well, and they're also talking about some things where it's like not happening. So that's the USA thing, and it's pretty big as well. Like all these fucking documents are so big, like it would take like 3 hours per single document per video. So I'm leaving it down below again. Just wanted to tell you the US is doing the same thing. Then over here, we have another thing here from The Times. What to know about the Kids Online Safety Act and where it currently stands. And it's from late May this year. The revival of the Kids Online Safety Act comes amid the US and global discussions over how to best protect children online. In late 2024, Australia approved a social media ban for under 16. So you can see already happening in Australia. It's set to come into effect later this year, right? So if you're in Australia and you didn't know this, get your VPN. In March, Utah became the first state to pass legislation requiring app stores to verify a user's age. And Texas is currently moving. Texas is a shithole anyway, let's be honest, right? The Kids Off Social Media Act, known as COSMA, which should ban social media platforms from allowing children under 13 to... Listen, I don't like censorship. I know that social media, especially for young children, can be a big problem. And especially it can be a big problem if those kids 13 and under use the same social media platforms as the rest of the world. Like, for example, when I grew up, I'm old, okay? When I grew up, fucking social media platforms did not exist. And I cannot imagine a world growing up with social media platforms. Because like the bullying and all the kind of hate and all the like comparing that children do in school already, that on like a global online basis is gonna be insane, right? So I do understand where this notion of wanting to change something, wanting to protect the kids come from. But let me ask you a question. Why are we never talking about the parents? Why are we never talking about the guardians of the kids? Doesn't matter if it's in Australia, in the USA, or in Europe. Why are we never educating parents on online safety so they can educate their children about what to do, what not to do, teach them about fake news? And talking about parents, what about schools? Schools don't teach that shit either. Schools teach nothing about this stuff. And neither do parents. And parents never learned about it either, right? Because either they grew up before these things happen or they have no idea. And of course you have problems if nobody gets explained anything. Now we leave that censorship behind and we go to the next censorship. We are now back to the UK, where we had the fucking thing where... Fuck me, dude. Anything that you wanna do under 18 is basically banned. Porn, banned. Games, banned. DMing somebody on Blue Sky, banned, unless you verify yourself with your ID card. And there apparently was a 400k petition to like change that. And you know what leadership just said? Leadership literally said, fuck you. Leadership has insisted there are no plans to repeal the Online Safety Act as a petition, calling for it to be scrapped near 400,000 signatures. So that's already insanity, right? So our Brit friends are fighting over there, and it's just happening. And I saw a different article, I couldn't find it anymore, but that basically says that VPNs already like skyrocketed over there since that happened, so that makes sense. Oh my god, take a break actually. I'm gonna take a sip of my Monster. Okay. Next topic. We have this little thing here. This school rejected a student because his parents are gay. Now some parents are leaving. Now this has a little bit more to it. It is a Catholic school. Number one, you could question yourself why gay parents would want to send their child to a Catholic school. it's a bit of an iffy situation. Can you be Catholic or like religious in general and gay, trans, LGBTQ, queer, or whatever, right? Yes, you can. It's a bit iffy. Like, I don't really understand how you can believe in such a religious system with so many like no-nos and also be like outside the norm yourself, but that's for everybody to decide for themselves, right? But the school literally said, yo, your child cannot come to the school because you are gay. Reverend Tran told them that he wanted to protect young children from seeing families like ours, aka a family with gay parents, and that having our family be a part of the school could be perceived as a scandal, the parents said. He said that in the Catholicism, marriage is between a man and a woman. And what would it do? What would it do to the other kids in the class to find out that our kids have two parents of the same sex? What would it do? The kids will literally say, oh, okay, and move on with the day. But yeah, just wanted to say, putting this in here just as a little, what the fuck is even happening? Now, did you think that the Visa and Mastercard situation would just ban like freaking rape and games and games with like underage people and abuse games and stuff like that? If you did, you're very silly, because it holds also banned LGBT plus content, LGBTQ plus content and stuff like that, right? So I saw this little post here, right? And of course I had to go and verify it. This post is saying a game about fanboys with zero adult visuals was removed. Nothing happens in this game. It's just mild fan service with cross-dressing males. Visa and Mastercard are violating the laws of both America and Japan by preventing sales of lawfully protected art. It looks like today is going to be a death watch. Be loud about the games you see removed. Talk about them, share them. I will do my best to compile. So this is 11,000 views, and then the Reddit post itself has 5,000 upvotes as well. This is obviously from the LGBT subreddit. And I was like, I have to see if this is actually real. And I did. I went to Steam, and obviously my Steam is from Germany. And I typed in the name, Girls, Girls, Girls. You can see, currently I can only access the soundtrack for the game. If I actually try to go to the game, it doesn't do anything. I'm clicking the thing, it doesn't do anything, right? And if I am going down here, beach episode, which I'm guessing is potentially a DLC, I click it. Well, this item is currently unavailable in your region, so I cannot even look at the page anymore. It's not even that I can look at it and it says no. It's just gone. It's just freaking gone. So even games now with no adult content whatsoever, right? Like you can see from the pictures here, yeah, it's obviously, there's some fan service, but I'm just gonna be believable for the 1 second. Like, we're gonna leave the Reddit post and agree that there's probably no like very sexual content in the game besides fan service, right? But yeah, it's gone. You thought you're safe? You're not. You have that. Now, YouTube. I saw a little post plop up in YouTube, because if you're a YouTube creator and you're logged in YouTube Studio, you get like new YouTube articles like on the right side of your screen. And I saw this one here. Extending protections to more US-based teams from 23 hours ago. Hi everyone. Starting August 13 this year, we'll begin rolling out an age estimation model to determine if a US-based user is under the age of 18. This will happen regardless of the birthday you entered when creating your account, so get fucked. We'll then use that to extend age-appropriate product experiences and protections to more teens, like enabling digital well-being tools and only showing non-personalized ads. So, non-personalized ads makes sense. Personalized ads are banned for like minors in lots of places in the world, right? But then like digital well-being, what could that be? Digital well-being could be something like, you already watched 2 hours of YouTube today, you cannot watch anything more. You wanna see a Shyaren video who talks about trans people? Yeah, you can't see that, get fucked. These protections for teens are not new. We now have enhanced technologies to more accurately determine when a user is 18 or not. So, listen, it is not looking at the age you entered on your Google account. It is stating that right above this. So do tell me, how does YouTube, Google, figure out if you are 18 or not? Or are younger? There's only one way. They access the other data on your phone, on your PC or whatever, or on your browser, because there's no other way to figure this shit out, right? And they are saying they have new technologies to make this happen, to determine that, right? Anyway, how does it work? The age estimation model uses a variety of signals, such as YouTube activity and longevity of the account. So you're telling me if I, for example, made an account, it's like 2 years old, right? Let's say I made the account when I was 13. I'm now 15, right? Obviously, I'm not. And the account is 2 years old. And I only look at like America, guns, and politics. The system will think I'm like 35. But if I'm like 35 and my account has existed for like 10 years, which, let's be honest, I could potentially make an account when I'm 5 and now I'm 15, right? And look only at content of like My Little Pony and like Blue's Clues and stuff like that, right? The system will think I'm younger. It seems like a very flawed way, right? As always, you have the option to verify your age through government ID, selfie or credit card. Yeah, give me your data, please and thank you, if you believe our age estimation model is incorrect. This sounds like a fucking scam website that just wants your data. Like they will incorrectly flag everybody and then be like, yeah, give me your freaking data, please. What does this mean for your viewers? You are the viewer, by the way. If we determine that a user is under 18, standard protections for teen accounts on YouTube will automatically be enabled. These protections are already applied to users who tell us they are under 18 when making their account, such as showing only non-personalized ads, enabling digital well-being tools, like take a break and bedtime remind. I hate this world. I hate the world we are at right now. Listen, if I was like 17 and I was watching a freaking illegal episode of Naruto on YouTube at like 1 a.m. on a weekday, and YouTube would send me a fucking bedtime reminder, I would baby rage so hard you can't even believe it. Showing reminders about privacy when uploading a video or commenting publicly. I mean, this is like the only thing which I have nothing against. People should be reminded more often that what you put on the internet will probably stay on the internet for forever. Minimizing recommendations of videos of content that could be problematic if viewed in repetition. Now this is a little bit silly. This is a little bit bad. This is a little bit silly. Because again, you do not determine what is problematic. The government or YouTube determines what is problematic. LGBTQ plus content, problematic if you watch a lot of it. Want to get indoctrinated? Obviously, it's not indoctrination, but you know what I mean, right? So that's what they're gonna say. And as a reminder, you must be 18 or older to watch age-restricted content determined by us or verified by you. What does this mean for creators? Based on our age estimated model, we apply some additional protectors, including setting uploads as private by default for anybody. Honestly, that's whatever. I just have my uploads as private by default, right? So I can put all the settings in. Restricting the ability to earn from gifts and vertical live streams. Now, this is a little bit weird. I'm not sure what gifts are in the context of YouTube, actually. That probably is like the money you can get during vertical live streams, because this is not supers. Supers are like the super comments where you can gift somebody money, and vertical live streams, so obviously they're cutting back on that. Some creators may experience a shift in the audience categorized as teens under 18. This may result in a decrease in ad revenue. That makes sense. Okay, so I only have like 7% of my viewers are under 18, but to those 7%, maybe you want to do something about it. So this was of the Gatling stool again. So last thing for today, since this video is already 30 minutes long. Remember Trump? Remember Epstein? Remember the files? Number one, let's talk about something first, because I couldn't find the actual freaking post anymore. So I'm so sorry that I don't have my sources for this one. But apparently, Trump has now come out and said that his name was planted in the Epstein files. So suddenly the Epstein files still exist. They came back and the name was planted now. There was also some new findings about the footage that they post that something's wrong with it, right? But then we have this motherfucker of a thing. It's posted in law 14 hours ago and has 62,000 upvotes. Trump caught saying that Epstein stole Virginia youth, among other young female workers, from Mar-a-Lago in 2000, leading to a feud between the two on a video. Now, Trump is pretty hard to understand here, so let's just play. This is like a minute long, and we're gonna have a few pauses in there.
Epstein has a certain reputation, obviously.
So the guy says Epstein has a certain reputation.
Were some of
were some of the workers that have been taken from you young women.
Some of them. Were some of them young women?
So he asked, were some of them? Then the guy repeats himself, were some of them young women?
Well, I don't want to say, but
Then he starts with, I don't want to say, but he will still say.
everyone knows the people that were taken, and it was the concept of taking people that work for me is bad.
The concept of taking people that work from me are bad, and everybody knows the people who have been taken.
But that story has been pretty well out there, and the answer is yes, they were. Yes, they were. Yeah. What did they do? In the
Yes, they were young women, and now the reporter asks, what did they do?
jobs in the spa. Yeah, it's people that work in the spa. I have a great spa, one of the best spas in
The people worked in the spa, the young women worked in the spa. That's already a little bit sussy, right? And then, of course, he has to pat his own back, saying he has the greatest spa in the world.
the world at Mar-a-Lago, and people were taken out of the spa, hired by him. In other words, gone.
And now he's saying the people that work at his spa now got hired, quote unquote, by Epstein, and they were just gone from him.
And other people would come and complain, this guy is taking people from the spa. I didn't know that. And then when I heard about it, I told him, I said, listen, we don't want you taking our people, whether it was spa or not spa. I don't want him taking people.
So apparently they had a little confrontation where Trump was going to Epstein, so you already know they had contact with each other, right? Saying like, yeah, I don't want you taking our people, and other people have been complaining about that.
And he was fine, and then not too long after that, he did it again, and I said, out of here.
Mr. President, did one of those stolen, persons, that include Virginia Jeffrey?
So now, look at his face already. That's what the fuck. So the woman here, the female news anchor or news person, the woman asked, was one of the persons who was taken in this way named Virginia Juve?
I don't know.
So he starts with, I don't know, right? That's the defense mechanism. But I don't know then what happens in his brain, because listen.
I think she worked at the spa.
And suddenly, I think she worked at the spa. This is already crazy, right?
I think so. I think that was one of the people, yeah. He stole her.
He stole her. What's that called? Stole? You cannot steal a person unless they're like enslaved and trafficked. What?
And by the way, she had no complaints about us, as you know. None whatsoever.
And you know what? You can make of that what you want. I just needed to put this in here because that is fucking ridiculous. And I don't know how people can defend a person like this. Also, he looks like shit in this video, and like he has like so much dementia that he doesn't even know where the fuck he is. Also, like there is like no press people with him on his side to like stop him from talking about this stuff. So it's kind of weird. Anyway, this video over 30 minutes long. Leave a like and subscribe. Maybe check out the membership and the other channels if you do want to support me. And I will see you next time. Bye!